Oh, man.
Talking big noise.
Well, you know, we gotta jump out. We gotta jump out the gate with the bio, man. I gotta, you know, I know you from a distance, but I gotta get a little more familiar with who I'm sitting across from. Man, where you from? You know, all that good stuff. Where's home? How'd you grow up? Take me through it.
Man, I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so if anybody ever seen The Wood, you know, when he stand up from the class, he'd be like, I'm from Winston-Salem. Yeah,
That's my all-time favorite movie.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's where I'm from.
How the hell you get down this way?
That's everybody's question. So once I finished school, I was just applying for jobs, man, and wasn't hitting on nothing. And one job I applied for that was in like Raleigh, Durham area, because I was still living in Durham.
Right.
You know, I had me an apartment up there. Just that's where I went to school, North Carolina Central.
Yeah, I see you repping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got to. They sent back like other jobs that was kind of in that network.
Right.
And so it was like a position in Allentown, Pennsylvania, 2 positions in Wichita, and a position in Tulsa. And so I was just like, whatever, like I'm gonna just apply and see what happened. And Tulsa was the only job out of all the applications I put in. They was the only one that hit me back. I'd never been out here, nothing. It just kind of went through that application process, did the it wasn't Zoom, it was Skype. Did the Skype interview. You know, I'm sitting in the living room. I was in a boot at the time. I tore my ankle up hooping.
Jesus.
Like a week after I graduated college, man, snapped my ankle hooping. I didn't get crossed. I
like how you cleared it up.
I landed on somebody's foot after I threw up a floater.
There you go.
I'm sitting in there with shorts and like, you know, the shirt, like the dress up shirt or whatever. Man, they hit me back. They was like, yeah, you got the job, but you got like 7 days to accept. And I was just like, dang, like I was sitting here like, bro, I hope somebody, because I didn't really want to come out here, but
I understand.
You know, I was like, man, I'm hoping somebody in this 7-day time span, like,
give me a reason.
Yeah, like, you know, nothing. Day 6, I was like, yeah, we going, like, it's whatever. I'd never been out here, nothing. And I think it was August of 2015. Yeah, me, my dad, and my uncle, we made that drive.
Ain't looked back since, huh?
Ain't looked back since. I mean, it was a point in time where I was gonna go back, but it was just kind of like I was only supposed to be out here for a year. It was a 1-year contract, and then when the year ended, I was just like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I ain't have a plan, I ain't have nothing. I was just like, yeah, let me stay here and work for another year.
I feel that.
You know, so I re-signed that contract, did another year. I mean, I was really homesick. Like, I was very homesick. Like,
man, see, I would have assumed that it didn't move you like that, considering the fact that you were like, man, 6 days, you got your mind where it needed to be to accept that position and be gone.
It was just kind of like I had no other options.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's like, this is the only job that I applied to out of all the jobs I've been, like, every day. Cause after I hurt myself, I was doing like my physical therapy and everything in Winston. So I had an apartment that I was paying for. I had a job. I was working at the Duke Hospital. Had a job, but I couldn't work because of the injury.
That's right.
So I got an apartment that I'm still paying for, but I'm living in my parents' house. And my mama, she on my head like, you better have applications done. You know, I'm 21.
Right.
You better have them applications done. You know, so I'm applying to whatever. Man, wasn't hitting on nothing. So it was just like my only option. Tulsa was my only option.
Really?
And, you know.
You had to jump on it.
Like, hey, you got to do it. Ain't nobody out here.
Man.
Yeah, I mean.
That's literally a fresh start.
Yeah, nah, for real.
Okay, so you said your dad and your uncle, was it? That moved out here with you?
Well, no, they didn't move out here with me. They drove out here with me.
Okay.
Like, I had to
move you.
Yeah. I was driving the Expedition at the time, man. My famed Expedition. When we all just hopped in the car and went, put a little U-Haul trailer on the back, did 40, and that was it. And
so what was your residential situation like when you got here in town? Did you already have that worked out, or you just hit the ground running when you showed up?
We found an apartment online.
Yeah.
You see you know how they you know how it be when you see the online stuff. So
Look
I mean,
beautiful.
it was it looked amazing online. I was like, oh yeah, this is a cool little situation. Like, I'll be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Get there, and then I kind of see like where it is, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay,
Got you with the okie doke.
all right. Like it ain't too bad, but it's not like amazingly great neither.
Yeah, that's right.
But the crazy thing, the lady who was doing my physical therapy, her husband was a coach at Wake Forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had just went to Wake Forest with Danny Manning, who was coaching at Tulsa. So she
Yeah.
was kind of giving me a little bit of insight about Tulsa, like while I was there, while I was in North Carolina.
For sure.
I don't even remember her name, but yeah, he was a coach here. They moved to Winston-Salem to coach at Wake with Danny Manning and stuff like that. So, you know.
That's big time. You know, we always got visitors passing through. So, how long would you say it took for you to like find your footing to where it's like, all right, I'm all right here. I'm all right.
Man, sometimes it still feel like that.
I understand.
Sometimes it still feel like, I'm still kind of learning more about everything. Man, it's just, I don't know. I guess maybe year 3.
And this is the 6th one, right?
Yeah. This is year 6.
About at the halfway point, huh?
Yeah, or whatever point it is.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just,
but about halfway through, that's when you felt like, all right, I'm all right.
oh yeah.
That's what I mean.
I mean, I kind of figured out like what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you could say year 2 because what I was doing, I was working for a nonprofit, and I was basically making like summer camps and stuff, like different summer programs for kids, dealing with STEM education.
Yep.
So I was kind of involved in the community. It was cool, like just being able to make an impact, I guess. So that was cool, and a good feeling. But that second year was when I really started to kind of branch out more. That's when I really started getting involved in basketball and stuff out here. So
Yeah.
that was really the turning point where I was like, okay, the ground isn't as soft anymore. It's that foundation is really starting to kind of set in. So year 2.
I like the way you put that right there.
Yeah, I just started that.
yeah, you started that.
Yeah.
Came off the dome with it. All right, but we both in the kid business, just in sort of different lanes, man. So I'm gonna jumping right into it. Where I know you from is the media game.
Yeah.
Dog. You know what I mean. You're always on the scene. You're watching games, watching some of the better teams and some of the higher profile athletes putting together videos and mixtapes for them, right? Correct me if I misspeak on the terminology, because you're the guru. So man, what led you to that, dog? When did you pick the camera up and be like, yo, this is my niche right here?
So I wasn't using the camera at first. I did my first video in like maybe 2013.
Did you know what the hell you were doing?
Kinda. So
Okay.
this will throw it all the way back to when I was a kid. So I was in church or whatever, and before I played drums, but before I could do that, my aunt was like the person who did the video stuff. Like she did all the cameras and everything like that. So I would be operating a camera when I was like 8, like in church. But that was just because I was always just kind of doing stuff. And my granddad was a pastor or whatever, so it wasn't that difficult once I picked it up out here. But then also in high school, I took a class, and it's crazy because I sent one of my videos to a dude I went to high school with. He was like, "Man, you really took like everything we learned in Coach Sparks' class and like applied it." And I was like, "Dang, I kind of forgot. I forgot I took that class." But it was a class called Radio and Broadcast, and the teacher, Coach Sparks, he did radio for Appalachian State football. But he taught us about like basically everything you use in here, like cameras, mics, audio recorders, how do I phrase, just green screen, like to kind of simplify the terminology. Just kind of, but on a very basic level. So even though I wasn't like fully committed to being like in video, I was more involved in music. I was really taking that class to learn how to like engineer, because I was also taking a piano class along with being in band and stuff too.
It makes
Like,
sense now.
yeah, so it was all based around like what I can do with music on this. And then you look back, and I got a hard drive that I got like a whole bunch of videos of us in the studio. Like I had me a little camera that I just walk around with, just record.
Oh, yeah, you like your puffy movement.
Yeah, man. Like we got like 11-minute long videos on Facebook and stuff. Us just in the studio, like just being loud kids, like you know, with live instruments and stuff like that. So
It sounds like you picked up on a lot of stuff in this man's class, like inadvertently.
yeah. Like, and that's the crazy thing. So like when my boy said that, I was just like, dang, like I really can take everything I'm doing and trace it back to this class that at the time I wasn't really aware what it would translate into. And then I look up and one of my classmates she does radio, which her father was a radio host, but she does radio now. Another one of my classmates is like a newscaster in like I think North Dakota or something. Like
Dang.
just a black dude all the way out in North Dakota just kind of on the news. I'm just like, man, that's crazy. But we was all in the same class, like, you know, so we kind of used it for different things. I don't really know anybody else who was doing anything with it, but
Did you feel yourself taking any particular interest in that during the time were you just sort of just like, all right, I'm going through the motion, trying to get what I really can get, and everything else can fall by the wayside?
kinda. Because like I said, I was using it to try and learn how to engineer. Like,
That's true.
You know what I mean? And being able to use different audio workstations and stuff like that. But also, I still kind of had an interest in the camera thing. Like, I wasn't taking pictures. I didn't take the photography class that was next door. But I always had a camera, and we rolling around, like, just recording videos. Like, not making nothing that's, you know, scripted or nothing like that, but just recording what happens in our everyday life. Like, we just literally going to the studio 5 days a week after school. Like,
Creating content.
yeah, and we just in there doing our thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hold the camera while y'all do this. All right, now it's my turn to do some stuff here. Hold the camera. Like, that was it.
Had
So
a
that's
whole
what I
little
was
squad.
doing in high school. Yeah, oh yeah, it was like 10 of us. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Then it got cut down to like 4, and then, but still, like, it's kind of crazy to think back on it. Like I said, I still got that hard drive. So, I mean, I haven't gone through and looked at anything in a while, but I know if I ever like want to reminisce, like on like 10 years ago, I can.
You got the lost files.
Yeah.
Well, to talk about your athletic background, man. Where'd your love for sports come from, man? Was it always just hoop?
Nah. So my athletic background, I really don't have like your typical like, oh, I played in high school. Like, I didn't play in high school.
Okay.
You know,
That's actually more interesting to me, though.
Yeah. So, but I always had a love. I played football first, I think. Then I think I got into baseball, and then basketball. So basketball was actually last. But it was like the dudes I played football with played baseball across the street. Did you watch what's the series? Hard Knocks? You watched the one with the Rams?
I don't think I watched that one. I can't tell you the last time I watched the full Hard Knocks series, man.
So it's
been some years.
It's a coach from the Rams staff. His name is Ray Agnew.
Okay.
But he played football for the Rams. But he's who that field is named after in East Winston. So Ray Agnew Junior Football Field, Winston-Salem Tiny Indians. Whoever watches this, man, that's who I played for. But across the street from there is Twin City Baseball Field or something like that. So when the season changed, you go from playing football to jumping across the street. We all played baseball together. We all on the same baseball teams.
That's
And
community
then
right there, Jack.
Down the street, we didn't play at the YMCA. It's crazy. It's a football field through some trees, a YMCA, and a baseball field over here. Like 3 or 4. But we played at a rec center, Reynolds Park Rec Center. I mean, and it's all the same group of kids. Like, we was all on the same team for like 2 or 3 years.
That's super
playing
dope,
together.
though, man. Chemistry for days.
Yeah, until like it's so weird. They have like a draft thing, and I ended up getting picked up by like another team. So that was like the last time I played with them ever. And we ended up playing them in the championship of one of the things one year. But
Did y'all take them down, though?
nah, man, we lost. Lost by 3, man. I won't tell that story, but yeah, we ended up, that hurt. because I wanted that one. But man, yeah, just that was it, man. I played rec ball, by the neighborhood. Like we was always playing basketball, like always. Just summers. My summer routine was like wake up in the morning, you laying around playing the game or whatever, and you just hear that basketball outside. You hear somebody either coming down the street or like somebody right up the street with a basketball, like at the end of their driveway. That's like, oh yeah, we finna throw some shorts on and get ready.
It's time to get to it.
We outside for hours. Outside for hours. Parents not home, like, they at work. We just go out, and we might not supposed to go outside, but we know they not finna get off work and come check on us in the middle of the day.
Coming to police
Yeah,
that.
nah. So we just be outside, just kind of roaming around. We would hoop all day. Then we go in and watch. That's when and one was on.
What?
Yo,
That was a serious movement right there.
Go
man.
in, watch and one, eat some lunch, then come back out and just go right back at it. So we just outside hooping all day.
Man.
I mean, that's really where it came from. Like just playing ball in my neighborhood. Get a little older, able to move more around the city. You start going to different YMCA's and stuff. Pick up ball all the time. Like that's what it was.
Did that last from a little kid all the way through once you got to be a big cool kid?
Yeah, like that was like my neighborhood and Reynolds Park Rec. You can say like that's where my basketball foundation, I guess, started. I mean, just like we would just hoop. Like that was what we did. Like we would hoop, play football, like, and that was it. Like sports wise, that's all we would do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, we'd be out there in the other stuff, just being like kind of reckless the older we got. But
Mischief, man.
yeah, man. But it would be stupid. Like, man, people call the police on us just for like being out and being kids. And like, I see kids in my neighborhood now. Like, I kind of live in a little nice whatever. But it's a basketball court right across the street from my house, and I hear these kids like outside playing, and I'm like, when I first heard, I'm like, dang, like these kids ever go home? But then I had to remember, like, we was the same kids.
Yeah.
Like we was outside past, like we didn't have street lights. Like, you know what I mean?
So what did you have to use as that? Okay, I know that when this happens, I gotta have my buddy at the crib.
You just kind of know because you learn your parents' schedule.
I feel that.
I mean, or if like once you kind of get into that middle school range, where you like first get your cell phone, get the Nokia brick or whatever, like they'll call you and be like, "Hey, it's time to come home.
Time to bring it in.
You can't argue with it. Like,
you mess up tomorrow, you do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell the story of the time I didn't come home.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, man, just. My mom, that's a story that we know. I'll keep it. It between us. But yeah, there's the one time I was like, man, she was trying to make me go to church. I was like, man, I don't want to go to church today. Like, I just want, we out here, it's a good hoop session going, chilling.
Don't ruin it, man.
It got bad real fast.
Escalated
real fast, man.
Forgot who was running things, man.
Yeah. I wasn't even that old either. I might have been like 11.
Oh yeah. It's a very weird age.
Yeah.
But man, I'm gonna tell you what you made me think about when you talked about that. Basically, that whole tale right there just made me think of how, I guess, pure childhood is. You know what I mean? And how innocent we used to think the world was. Because just think about how like asinine it is today to see a kid just walking. At least for me, I'm like, whoa. It's a blast from the past, you know what I mean? But we used to walk all over the place, even when we didn't have to. It was just fun. You get with your homies and we just go mob. We going somewhere, and it's gonna be on foot. Or we really thought we came up in the game. Now we on the bicycles.
Bro, I just want to say that, man. Something tripped me out yesterday. I think I got home kind of late, so it's nighttime, and I just see a bike laying on the corner, and I'm like, yo, like they just leaving their bikes out, but. Yeah, I'm like, you could never leave your bike out in the put your bike in the house, in the garage, whatever.
You won't see it no more,
Jack.
Jack.
Gonna see it. And it was still there today when I went home. I'm like, yo, somebody
time.
Gonna take this bike. They need to come claim it or it's gonna get got. Bro.
Come on, man. And there was never a thought, and this is probably not that abnormal because kids don't have perspective for real. But it was never a thought to me really when we were young and moving around like that, unsupervised. I never even had to think like, yo, am I safe?
Never.
You know?
Never.
And so many people would just drive by me and they knew my people. So I had eyes on me whether I knew it or not, and it was just all good. And plus, but this before the phone, but the parents knew where all your spots were anyway. Well, he gonna be either here, or here, and they come find us.
Kinda.
Uh oh,
Yeah, I
look at
mean a
it,
little
look at your
bit.
little slicker.
Like they knew like the main spots we would be at because they knew whose houses had the basketball goals.
True that.
So you either in like one of like 4 places in the neighborhood, and then other times you're not gonna be there. Like we might be in somebody else's neighborhood because it used to be like we might go to a neighborhood like across the street or down the way to go like hoop with those guys or something like that.
True that.
But that was kind of when we got a little older, like middle school, high school, where the phones came in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just that. I mean, it was. Yeah, it was kind of weird, man, to think back and look at it. Just say we really just spent all of our time outside. Like there was no online gaming. You know what I mean?
True.
Like it's not. You got to really like if you want to play a video game, I got to go to your house for us to play Madden against each other. I can't just be like, hey, you online and you know what I'm saying, go like that.
Throw the headset on and talk reckless like we on in the same room.
Thing. Like man, you had to go find people. Like you had to seek your entertainment. You know what I mean? And our entertainment was just outside. So like that's why I say like I don't trip when I walk out my front door and I look out the window and there's a bunch of kids playing across the street from my house. Like, I can't. That was me. I was that kid.
Yeah.
Environment was a little different. It was actually a lot different. But I was that same kid. Like all my friends that I grew up with, that was us. Foot racing, football in the middle of the street. Sideline tackle. Like we ain't tackle on gravel, but if you run down the
sideline, we bust you in the grass.
Oh yeah, we knock you into the grass. I'll never forget. Man, it was 2 things that happened. Man, we was actually playing in somebody's backyard.
Right.
And a dude, I don't know if he got tackled or whatever, but his feet ended up sliding under the fence. And dude, he had like the meanest gash in his leg. Like down to the white meat. Like bad. Another time, my boy AJ, man, he got hit so hard by a cat that was a lot older than us. He's like, he coaches now, man. He probably like 6'3", 2 something. He's like probably in high school. Man, AJ hits the ground and slides into the house and smacked his head. Both of those were moments where he was like, yeah, we done. Like, game over. Everybody go home. Like,
yeah, we through for the day.
We done for the day. Like, this man probably had a concussion. We didn't know what a concussion was.
Like, we used to refer to it as, man, you just got your bell rung.
Yeah, you got a headache, you know what I'm saying? A little dizzy.
Yeah, go and sleep it off.
Yeah, man. But like you said, it's like the purity, like we just ain't have a clue. Didn't have a clue, man. We was just living.
And after stuff like that, we'd always double back and be thinking, all right, how we gonna do the same thing, just a little better though.
Yeah.
So this time, it never occurred to us to be like, no, we're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
Maybe for today.
For the day, it's done. Like, it looked bad enough to like stop the game and everything, but
that's funny as hell.
We'll be right back out there tomorrow doing the same thing.
Yeah. Then we're gonna move ahead a couple chapters, man. Take me through your college experience, man. You went to a historically black college, university. Tell it to me. How was that experience?
So I graduated from North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina. We are probably 5 to 10 minutes away from Duke. So being in North Carolina is so many schools. I tell people that all the time. Like, schools are in like the amount of schools in a 30-minute radius is kind of crazy.
Right.
Colleges and universities are that close to each other.
Decent.
Like Central, Duke, and Carolina is like you drive 10 minutes, you'll be at another school. You'll touch another school. Like
literally that close.
Yeah, it probably Carolina's a little further away because it's in Chapel Hill, but it's ridiculously close. But man, so I was in a band in college. There's a lot of people don't know.
Well, I mean, based on what you've shared with me up to this point, I can see that.
Yeah. So I was on a drum line in college. I did march in high school too. I think I did 2 years. I played football my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And back to like being in the neighborhood. I was going to play basketball one day in the summer after my freshman year of high school, I'm just going. Next thing you know, bro, I'm just looking up. Like I don't know what's gonna happen to me, and this dude just picked me up off the ground. Man, I got hit by a car on my bike, going to hoop,
Oh,
going to
wait.
hoop. It was a hoop session. I never made it to the hoop session, bro. And I'll never forget my mom, like, and I know I'm getting off topic.
That's all good.
I'll circle back around. But I'll never forget my mom, like, before I left, she was like, just like, yo, just stay in the house with us. Like, just stay here and kick it with us. And I'm like, I don't want to kick it with y'all. Like, I don't want to be in the house. Like,
Nah.
yeah, we finna go hoop. Man, never made it to that hoop session. Ended up in the hospital for a little minute. Had 2 fractured vertebrae in my neck.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the way they, like, I didn't even, like, know. Like, I knew I had a concussion. Well, I didn't know it was a concussion, but I knew my head hurt. Like,
Man.
bell rung, yeah. Like, I landed on my head first. My shoulder was skint, like, arm kind of skint.
Man.
And they was doing x-rays on my shoulder and saw the glare or whatever. And they came through me in a neck brace. Football's done. So,
Not a neck brace.
yeah. I didn't leave the house.
Yeah,
I didn't leave the house, man. It was bad.
I would not be seen.
But my junior year, I joined the band in college. I'm sorry, in high school, and that translated into college. Like, so I marched on the drum line, man. Great experience. I mean, if you're into music and you play instruments, join the band, like whatever school you go to, even if you don't go to a HBCU, like real good experience, man. And meet a lot of people. I recently had some of them contact me, like some of the current people like that play now. I was just kind of like, dang, how y'all find me? Because I try to stay off the grid a little bit. But,
Right.
I mean, it was a great experience, man. Just being a part of the HBCU experience of, they talk about the Saturday football and, what is it? What's the line from the movie? Halftime is game time or something like
Halftime is
that.
game
Yeah,
time.
like off the
Exactly
drum line. It was great, man. Just being around black people like all the time. You know what I mean? The high school I went to was super diverse, like from like the wealthiest kids to like absolutely like project kids, like very wealthy where they shoot movies in their neighborhoods to, hey, don't go over there.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you had.
so the gap is like crazy. But you throw everything in the middle too. So you got a white, Asian, black, Hispanic, all of that mixed in one, but it's still a majority white school to now I'm being around black people all the time.
Right.
Like, so you kind of feel like the majority and you're kind of in your campus. Like all
Yeah.
you're seeing is black people everywhere. So I mean it was really cool and it really, I got my degree in history, right? So I was able to learn about everything just kind of tailored to culture and learning about yourself, learning about where you come from and the black experience in America.
Like, oh snap! Okay, this is what it is for everybody. This is not an exceptional guy based on his profile because this guy got the same profile over here, and I thought that was dope, man.
Yeah, and it gets to the point where like y'all start to push each other. Like I lived in a suite with like 3 other dudes, but none of us would let each other fail. You know what I mean? Like if you need something, all right, we got you. If you need somebody to stay up with you and make sure you studying, hey, come on, bro, like wake up. You don't be in here slacking. Like you in school for a reason. Like you feel like dropping out, nah, don't do that. Your teachers, your professors that you have, like it's a little more hey, what's the word? The teaching settings are a little more intimate because you don't have as many students.
Yeah.
So like I would go to a class over at Duke, and I mean the seats in the class look like that. Like it's I mean they not benches.
No, I
but
feel what you mean.
the-
Standing
the
room
amount
only.
The amount of people in the class is just like that.
That intimidated the hell out of me, man.
Like it's crazy because it was kind of eye opening. I'm like, dang, like how y'all learn with this many people in here?
Yeah.
Versus going to a class where you might have 15, maybe 30 people in the class, but your professors know your name.
There you go.
You can go in there and talk to them whenever about whatever. You know what I mean? Like your academic advisors, they really are invested in you. Like that was the whole thing. Like the people are invested in you. You know what I mean? They want you to succeed.
Family type dynamic, huh?
Complete family atmosphere in every aspect.
Yeah.
Like every aspect, man. It was cool, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. My sister, she goes to HBCU. She goes to Hampton University.
There
This
you
is
go.
her senior year. I was just talking to her on the way over here. But yeah, man, I'm glad she got to experience that as well.
Look at y'all coming from good stock.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't really got too much to say about Hampton because I've never been up there. But
Gotcha.
anytime I talk to her, she has a great experience up there. So
Man, that's a beautiful thing right there. Well, while you're in college, can you think of that moment where it's like, where you realize that, hey, man, I've reached another level, headed toward adulthood. Like, so I'm not at the crib no more. You know what I mean? I'm not getting them home cooked every day, man. Mom and them ain't calling to wake me up in the morning. Can you remember that? Come to I'm on my own manhood type of moment.
man, I don't know. It kind of hit early because I went to school a week after I graduated. Like a week after I graduated high school, bro, I was out of there.
Wasn't no summer for you, huh?
Man, no summer. Like
By choice, or it just had to be like that?
nah, my mom, she got me up out of there. She was like, "You out?" I'm like, "Dang, for real?" She's like, "Yep, summer program." like, dang, like what?
I have no say so in the matter.
No say so, man. I was going. And even then, like, it was a family environment. It was just 50 guys. And we all stayed in one dorm building, but we had, like, people over us who still kind of, like, guided us. You know what I mean? Even though we were on our own,
Right.
they still, like, was putting us on game on how to be successful in this school realm and giving us a way to try and help that translate into where we at now, into adulthood. So, yeah, man, that I can't really think of like one exact moment, but I mean, shoot, I was living off campus by my junior year. You know, I got a job as at Duke Hospital. I was working there.
Did you do that because you had to, or you just wanted? You just
I
wanted
just
to.
wanted to.
I feel that way. You got that ethic, man.
Nah, I don't know, man. I just kind of wanted the freedom of being off campus. Like,
I
there's a
feel
lot of rules being on campus and living on campus and just moving off campus. It sounded cool at the time. I mean, it still was, man.
Yeah.
Great experience. But,
Yeah, you got to you play by your own rules.
yeah, for sure. Well, kind of.
Kinda.
Still got to live by the apartment rules, man. But
I feel that.
it was straight. Like it was. Dang, I don't even know how to explain it all the way. Like it was just a good experience that I wouldn't trade for anything. Especially like being. Just band kind of molded me. Like.
See, that's where I was going next. Yeah, go ahead, take me there.
Yeah, nah. So that kind of molded me. Just again another family atmosphere. Like my drum instructor, like even though he no longer teaches there, he teaches at the Rival, the one that probably everybody know about, A&T.
Yeah.
You know, that's where he works now. But I can call him whenever. And we can just have an hour-long conversation. You know what I mean? Like I could probably call. Matter
That's
of fact,
priceless, man.
my section leader hit me up maybe 2 days ago. Just hit me up. Like, dang, like, I don't really talk to y'all a lot, but y'all can still just kind of hit me out the blue. Everything be cool.
Yeah, as if y'all just talked yesterday.
Yeah. And like you know, power of social media, now we had the ability to kind of keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's done like movies and stuff. He was in like the second drum line and all that. Like, but you still kind of takes you back to those days of like, dang, this was really the people I rocked with the whole time I was there. Like if I needed anything, I could call one of them, or if they needed anything, they could call me, and we're good. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, but sometimes it got ugly. It went from, you know, some people had to spend the night on the couch, or somebody done got robbed or something. We got to go, you know. Man, we done had that exhibition.
It got that real.
It's done got packed out, and we done had to roll, but, you know, man, it's, again, man, just a family experience, and you make some lifelong connections there. Like, all them DMV people I was talking about, all in the group message.
Straight up.
Man, dudes is married, got kids, man. You know, that's just that. Like, even though I got it on mute. If I jump in there and be like, "What's up?" I'm gonna get hit with, "Hey, what's up?" You know,
yeah.
What you doing? What you want? What you got now? Like, you know,
you gotta love that.
that's just that, man. It's just family. Like I guess that's how I could wrap up the HBCU experience. It's a family experience. Like even in these different realms, like I got the band as a whole, and
Right.
I got the drumline as a whole, like kind of its own entity. I got the people that I lived with for a minute, and I still got the people who I started college with, like in that summer program, like all of these different the people I was in the history majors with.
Well, you got
Like,
subcategories.
yeah, so but it's all family. I ain't even been to a homecoming yet. But I'll look at like videos and pictures of people at homecoming and be like, this is exactly why I'm glad I went to a HBCU. That's why I'm glad I went to North Carolina Central. Because it's family. It's a family environment. It's a family atmosphere. Everybody go to the Greek Bowl and just a DJ out there. It's
Oh,
a
that's all
party.
you need.
Yeah, it's what more could you ask for? Like it doesn't get any better than that.
Man, being a member of the band, and particularly a member of the drumline, man, I look at y'all preparing for a season, quote unquote. They ain't there like athletes, man. Did they bust y'all's asses just like that, getting in shape?
Did they? Yeah, it's a lot of running, a lot of calisthenics,
Yeah.
a lot of dude, them drums heavy, bro. Them drums is heavy.
Okay, that makes
Especially
sense.
like the big one. Like I played the largest bass drum.
Oh,
Yeah, I was doing the back. Like, yeah, so that's probably why I got back problems now, man.
man.
But
Holding that sucker
yeah,
up,
you
boy.
had to be. And you got to think on game day. You really don't take a break. You really don't. It ain't no rest in the third quarter. Halftime is game time. You literally playing. You march in. You play before the game. You march into the stands. You play during the game. Halftime, you play. You play a third and fourth quarter, and then after the game, you still playing.
Yeah.
You got to do parades and all this. Like they did a Rose Bowl parade the year before I got there. It's like a 6 mile parade. Like
Jeez.
what?
And you better be on point,
Man, dude, homecoming parade, you got to do that. Homecoming is like the worst day if you're in the band. The week is the worst week when you're in the band because all of this stuff is happening and you can't go to none of it. You don't, no step show, no concert, no nothing. Dude, Kendrick Lamar did the homecoming show my freshman year. It was that annoying rain, like that drizzle rain. It's like a misty rain or whatever that we had practice from.
You're the ones I don't know which speed to turn my wiper blades on. You know
That
what I mean?
one, that annoying rain. Had practice from 3 o'clock to like 9 o'clock.
That's unconstitutional, man.
It might have been, but they didn't care. They didn't care. And then the worst part is my boy ended up driving Kendrick to his uncle's studio after. And I was just like, when he told me about it, I was sick. So I had the expedition. I had the bigger car. I'm like, man, I for sure would have been able to.
It should have been me.
Yeah, it should have been me. Like, you would have still been there, but I probably would have been the one driving. Like,
So the homecoming experience is good for everybody else. Like, hey, I'm glad you like it. We can't stand that sucker.
if you in the band, man, it's rough. Like I said, homecoming the morning of, man, you got to be up early for that parade. And you get like maybe an hour or two break. And it's game time, and But I will say the good thing is, if you're in the band, dude, man, game is over. Hit them tailgates. Again, family atmosphere.
Big time.
I don't know these people's names. I've been in the band 4 years. I don't know these people's names, but if I show up in my uniform after the game, they got plates ready for us.
Oh yeah.
They got everything you want. They got it.
That's
Food,
real.
drinks, music, party, dancing. Hey, you go to school here. You in the band here. You family. Come get you a plate.
We'll get you a plate. We don't even need to know your name.
Don't need to, man. I couldn't tell you none of them people right now. I couldn't. But
That's that village we talk about all the time,
The
man.
village, that's a great way to put it too. Village, family, man. It's all the same, man. It's just a great, great atmosphere. But yeah, preparation is definitely, if I could think, like, it's a lot of repetition, like with practicing and making sure that it's on point. And you know how you have guys who go to trainers and, work on their game outside of just being in the gym here. It's the same way. Like, once you leave, it's not over. Like, once band practice is done, it's not over. You got a drumline sectional after practice, maybe. Most nights you do. After that, if you still ain't got some parts down, y'all finna go link up and figure that out.
It ain't never done.
It is not. It's not done. In the middle of the day, we in class. We sitting there tapping, thinking the parts in our head, like So the preparation of it is definitely something that's top tier because you only get one time to play everything.
Oh
And
man,
it's gotta be perfect.
that's that healthy pressure.
Yeah. There's been plenty of times where you mess up, but you don't want to mess up. I was telling somebody the other day. I said, "Man, it's a YouTube video of me messing up in the middle of a performance, right?
Okay, is it glaring or is it just noticeable if you know what you're looking
It's
at?
noticeable if you know what you're listening to.
Okay.
Yeah, I messed up on a playing part, but I looked. I said, man, I wonder how many views it got. 44,000 views on YouTube. For me, just back there, just
Man, what them comments look like?
smooth. Them comments is terrible.
they
man.
killing you.
I ain't even gonna tell y'all what video it is. It's
all
bad.
good.
But I mean, hey, you got one time to get it right. So that's why the preparation has to be
Way on point.
on key. Like, somebody made the comparison of because the marching band, I believe, was started in the military. So that's kind of how it's ran.
Makes sense.
So
Very structured, very militant.
very structured,
Detailed
very
to the T.
Detail, attention to detail is what Lawhorn used to always say. Like visually and audio wise. Like you got to make sure your playing parts is on point. You got to make sure you look the part.
Right.
You can't look off. Like you have to look like everybody else. And if it's a snare line, y'all all got to look the same when you play. I can't be playing with my right hand and you playing with your left hand. It don't look right unless it's a split part. Yeah, but a uniformity.
Straight tedious work.
Yeah. Very tedious. Very, very tedious. Like it would be in there for hours just working on the same part, getting it down. I mean, but it's essential. Like if that's what you want to do, then and honestly, I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I joined because I came from a high school where the band was like, yay, and it's just we play the peppy music, and I didn't really like it, but I didn't have nothing else to do. I was getting the football games for free, So
You've been a strategist for a long time.
Yeah. Speaking of more strategy, dude, I used to play drums at Wake Forest basketball games when I was in high school.
Well, how did that come about?
Because a dude who played in the band at Wake Forest went to my high school. They needed somebody to play the drum set, which is what I grew up in the church doing. He introduced me to the band director during football season. Boom, I just kind of weasel my way in there. I'll come play. I'm in there getting in basketball games. I was looking at some highlights of somebody from Carolina, and it was a game at Wake Forest, right? And I see myself in the crowd with the band. I was able to point myself out.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
I was just like, dang,
I
was really just walking in the back door, sitting around the drums and just, waiting on them to call my name to play. Sometimes I wouldn't even play. I'd just be in the game, chilling. That's what we doing.
But I'm in here though.
I'm in here.
Can't nobody sweat me. I'm in legit.
I'm legit. But
man,
strategy is important though.
No doubt about it. I forget what those 5 or was it 5 P's or 6 P's that people say all the time.
Preparation prevents poor performance.
Yeah. That's right. But then depending on who you talk to, they may slide another P in there. Piss poor.
Yeah, piss poor. Yeah.
But Johnny Dash Media.
Yeah. Man.
Tell me about it, man. That brainchild. When, where, why, how? You know what I mean?
I think I said it earlier. My first video was in 2013, maybe.
Right.
It wasn't anything that I filmed. One of my boys was in the G League. At the time, it was a D League. Ty Walker played at Wake Forest, and they used to have all the games on YouTube.
Right.
But me and Ty used to work out all the time, in the summer. This dude is 7'1". I don't know why I'm working out with him.
And to shoot for the stars, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We get up at 5 a.m., go work out. And then it went from that to I was just out of boredom, it's I already be watching the games to see how he's playing and stuff. And I was I'm gonna make a video. Make the video. All right, cool. I had another one of my boys who went to Wake Forest. He ended up going to UMass. Anthony Gurley. he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I seen that video you did up top, man. Like, think you hook that up for me?" I think he was playing in Canada. So do a video for him, do another one for him. And those 3 videos were in 2013 and 2014. I don't think I made another post on that YouTube page until like 2017.
Dang.
Right. So there was a large gap, but I also knew that like once I came out here, or switch that, when I was in college, I was always at basketball games. Matter of fact, from the moment I stepped on campus, that leaving and going to school early, I don't know if you remember this, but it was a NC Pro-Am.
I do.
So that used to happen at my school.
This dude, man.
Yeah. So
the most interesting man in the world right here, too.
Yo, it was free. All you had to do was show up.
So no admission.
No, free.
Wowzers.
And you got to watch everybody who played at NC State, everybody who played at North Carolina, everybody who played at Duke, and all the guys who played at North Carolina Central. They all was playing in a Pro-Am league. But also, like, old dudes coming back, which they weren't old at the time, but, like, you got Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace,
Legends.
Raymond Felton, John Waller come through. Like, anybody who's from that area, P.J. Tucker probably came through there before we really knew who he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anybody who was from around that area or played at all in that area was coming in to play. And it was free. So, man, we get done with class, we rush to the calf, boom. Hey, we hitting the Pro-Am today.
You already know what's happening.
And it's packed in there. Matter of fact, Austin Rivers was that was Austin Rivers' year. So that was the year he came and played. So he was in there playing. Yeah, man, that was great, man. And that was the first time I got to see like what guys from my school was gonna play like. And some of them dudes ended up being legends. So
right place, right time.
Yeah, man. So went from that to like my junior year is really when I started going to like our actual games. And just the environment, again, family. Like it was kind of like this gym, but raise it one more level. You got one wall and you got kind of like a bowl around it, right? But and this is what I talk about too, about like the Tulsa gyms. A lot of the bleachers don't come down to the floor.
Thank you, sir.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
It
You're saying something now.
It changes the environment.
Yep.
Like
I was literally just fussing about this the other day.
My high school, our bleachers came down to the floor the whole
Yep.
way. My college bleachers came down to the floor the whole way, except on the north and south ends. Like you know, both wall. One was just a straight up wall. The other one was a wall, and the seats were up. But the other two ends, the seats are coming all the way down.
Yep.
So you come into the crowd. Like, if you on us, like, we can show you love, like, dap you up, whatever. Like, the environment is just like any other college that you see on your national TV. Like, we had, while I was there, we had, like, the longest home win streak. It was up to, like, 30-something wins. Like, I think Arizona had 34. We had 33, but ours ran longer in a calendar year.
Got
you know what I mean?
Makes perfect sense.
But the environment was just crazy, and I'm like, dang, I actually like this more than like I always liked basketball more than I did football, but I just wasn't. I wasn't finna make my high school basketball team. I was 5'4" when I was a freshman. Like, it's not happening.
Little daddy.
Yeah, it's not happening. Like so, man, just that environment. I started going, man. And it just made me want to keep watching more and more basketball. And I had these friends who were like pros and playing overseas. You know, my homegirl, she was playing down in Florida. She was, you know, watching. I was just watching basketball all the time. And I think that's just kind of how I started falling in love with it. Like, started kind of paying more attention to detail, like trying to understand what's actually happening. Not just watching them score, like trying to understand, all right, what they ran this same play. This same person's got this shot off like 2-3 times in a row. What are they doing? You know, so going from just watching it to be entertained and now I'm looking to try and figure out what's actually happening. You know, so that's when I started kind of, my gear started shifting with the basketball thing. Fast forward to how Johnny Dash Media came about. My second year out here, I run into Frank Hafe at Transformation Church, right? Now, I knew Frank Hafe was at Missouri. I didn't know he was at Tulsa. I knew he was at Missouri after leaving Miami.
I
So I'm
remember.
from North Carolina. I'm an ACC kid.
Sure.
They only had, I think, 3 black coaches in the ACC at the time. Sidney Lowe at NC State, Leonard Hamilton at Florida State,
Florida State.
and Frank Haith at Miami. So I'm sitting in transformation. I'm in the back. I look. I'm like, nah. So again, Frank Haith's walking in. I'm like, yo, I gotta ask him a question. Like, I gotta ask him, like, how do I get my foot in the door? Like, you know, church is over. I go talk to him. Just had a quick conversation. He introduced me to Ricky Bolton.
Hey, okay.
Rick went to Winston-Salem State in my hometown. So his freshman year of college is my freshman year of high school, right? But we didn't know each other while we were both in the same city,
Sure.
like, which is the craziest thing, like, because I was kind of around the campus
Right.
pretty often. Like, it would be times where I go and play at that campus. Right?
Cross paths a bunch of times.
Probably did, and just never even, you know. And the crazy thing, we ended up knowing like mutual people from, you know, from North Carolina.
True
which
that.
was, you know, still to this day is just kind of crazy. But you know, you cross paths with the right people at the right time, I guess. So, you know, he just started networking a lot, man. I ended up coaching at Will Rogers.
Never knew that either.
Most people don't know that.
This dude right here, man.
Most
I mean,
people
your
don't know
jacket
that.
is, boy.
But
What year was that though? You remember?
This was 2016.
Okay.
So yeah, so 2016, I started coaching at Will Rogers Middle School. The position was for the freshman team. I go in there, man. By like the third question of the interview, I was like, "Look, bro, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to learn what I need to be doing. Like, I love this game, and I'm trying to learn more about it." And he was like, "All right, well, we're not gonna give you the freshman position, but we can put you down here in the middle school." Like, cool. Started doing that. Ended up linking up with Rod, and you know, I told Donnell Can was the head coach for the middle school team, right? And I told him like, "Yo, I do a bunch of stuff with video. I was doing some work on Huddle for the high school team and all of that." And he was like, "Yo, we could use somebody to like do video for our AAU team."
See?
And you know, I go and I meet Rod at the church. A couple days later, I didn't even own the camera. Donnell let me use his camera, right?
Dang. Just on the strength. Like,
Yeah, just on the strength. He was like, "Yo, go to this school and make a video of number 22." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Sounds like a simple enough
Yeah,
assignment.
yeah. So I went to Bixby, and I think it was Booker T and Union was the first game I ever filmed, right? I don't even think that video I made has been like put out anywhere, but it was a video of Bryce. Didn't know anybody. I just went in there, went up top, filmed. The next day, they told me to go back because they ended up winning that game. Oh no, they lost that game. So, which is weird. The playoffs here is a little weird. Playoffs in North Carolina, you lose, you're done.
Yeah.
Here you can
There's a
lose
bunch of y'all.
and still make it. They end up playing Sopopa. And I think the game after that was Norman North versus VA, so that's my first time seeing Trey Young, right? But do those games, made a video, it was like, all right, cool. The next video I did, Rob was like, "Meet me here at 6 in the morning. And we're going to San Antonio."
Pardon me? You know what I'm saying?
I ain't never been to Texas a day in my life, but
Right.
we finna go.
We going back.
I was there at 6 a.m., bro. We ain't leave till like 8. I was just like, yo,
That
if you
sound
say be there, but be there, because
Yeah.
you know, you never know what this opportunity might hold.
Right.
Like, imagine if I didn't show up. If I don't show up at 6 o'clock, I'm not sitting right here.
Now, everything changes.
Everything changes. Like, your decisions that you make can completely change your life. Or the decisions you fail to make can completely change your life. Different story. Anyway, go down to San Antonio. That was when I started doing everything for PWP. You know, just working videos with that. Then school season rolls around, man. I just start kind of making more videos, like showing up to Booker T games, just filming.
Mm.
After that, man, it just kind of took off.
It grew legs of its own, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever run any problems to accessibility? What?
Not until I'm gonna just say no, because I always managed to find a way in.
Yeah.
Like,
Very resourceful brother, right?
well, kinda, yeah. Sometimes it's resources, other times it's just knowing how to talk to people and, you know, smile and say the right words. They'll be like, yeah, okay, come on in. Like,
Right.
you know, that's my approach with it, man. I know, talk about access, like, even the state championship game for football that year, I think that was the year Booker T won. Like, I'm on the field, I ain't got a pass, I ain't got nothing. Like,
That's a cheat code,
yeah,
for real.
man, I done slid in the game and everything. Like, I probably shouldn't say that, but whatever.
Hey, man, listen,
Yeah.
man. It's a wrap.
It's 3 years ago. Whatever, it happened. But
Yeah, you much more solidified now.
yeah, I guess maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I don't know, man. I just kind of found my way in the spots. Oddly enough, last year, during basketball playoffs, was my first time in the big house.
So we talking last year, what, 2021? Last spring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang, that's
No, but I feel you, because whenever I talk about years, I talk about school years.
yeah.
So I knew where you went.
Yeah, so this is in March or February of this
Right.
year.
Yep.
Hey, that's not that long. Time, bro. Time be flying. But I'll never forget, I'm walking in and Josh calls me, JRC. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He calls me and we were just down there the day before. He was like, yo, man, they tripping. They're not letting us in. This time I actually have a badge and I'm, kind of down there on assignment or whatever. And he was like, man, they not letting me in, this, that, and whatever. And somebody had complained about why was he allowed on the floor. So I guess when they saw him go in, they wasn't messing with him. They was like, nah, you can't come down here.
Nah.
And then Sam, who's with OK Hoops, same thing. Like as soon as I see Josh, Sam is walking back like, yo, they're not letting us down. I said, well, I'm gonna go try.
Yeah.
I just ain't nobody say nothing to me. I was just like, yo, just kind of walk like you know what you're doing, man.
Badge and all that.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Right, yeah. I just kept going. Like I got my eye on where I need to be. Don't make eye contact with nobody.
That's right.
Kind of go. Like
That type of stuff works though, man. It be not all the time.
not all the time, but
a lot of time when you look like you
Yeah.
belong there, it's like okay.
it definitely didn't work in New York. That was my first like circuit trip, like
Yeah.
the Under Armour circuit. It did not work in New York, man. And my bags that got left on the plane, so I was like missing stuff. I ain't had my cash on me, so I'm like, dang, like
Ooh.
I can't even get in. Like the way I was having the way. I'm like, hey Rob, man, you got a 20 I can hold to get up in here.
You couldn't even maneuver, huh?
I could not move. And the dude like stopped, talked to me, asked me some questions. And at the time I wasn't knowledgeable, but he asked the right question. I gave the wrong answer. And he was like, yeah, you got to wait right here. And he stayed there. He stayed there. He did not
waited
move. He did not move until I paid to get sure that I was, they made sure to get that little $20 up out of me that day. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was straight. Everything else has been real chill, man. Just I kind of figured out how to move. Now I think I contact people a lot more. Like,
Right.
I'll reach out and be a little more resourceful. As you said, just make sure I communicate with people. And I think I was kind of forced to last year because of COVID, because there was so many like regulations on who could come in and where you could even be. I think at one point I was calling and having to put my name on the list to like make sure it was okay for me to be in there. Because you can only have so many people in gyms, right? Last season. So that was but I guess it'll kind of make things easier for me in the future. Like if I absolutely need to get in, I know who to call, I know who to talk to, I know where to be, I know where I need to be. Like I know just where I need to be to make things happen and who I need to talk to. So
Being in it for a minute, that helps.
yeah, I guess, man. I guess the name is starting to like finally pick up and have a little bit more recognition. So
Great segue, man. And okay, at what point did you pick up enough traction to where you like, you know what? I need to go ahead and legitimize this thing. Let me go ahead and brand it. Let me go ahead and do what I need to do. What was that point?
Well, branding wise, branding wise, that's funny. So I used to post all the videos on my like my personal Twitter account. You know, everybody talk about like having an OG Twitter account, like the very first one you made, like
Right.
2009, 2010, that era.
Right.
So I used to post all my videos there. Then I was like, yo, I need to make one where I can still like laugh and joke about whatever I want to laugh and joke about, and I need to have one that goes directly to like be the media part of it. So I make this new Twitter maybe like 3 weeks after my other one gets snatched down off this like Drake song that I use, because I've been using music in the videos, and so it's so many like copyright stuff that you got to kind of bounce around.
Yeah.
Um, and I probably had several strikes on it, but that Drake one was like the last straw, and I'm like calling, trying to get my stuff back. I'm like calling London, like, yo, like y'all retract or whatever. They was like, no, and so at that point, it was like, okay, I have to focus everything here, like have everything in one place. I don't even think I was doing YouTube at the time, but at that point, I think that might have been 2018. Maybe 2019. I'm not really sure, but that point was just like, yo, I have to kind of take it more serious and move smarter, you know, to protect what I'm doing. Legitimize. What do you mean by legitimize? Like,
All right. Well, to sort of use this platform, for example, because for the longest, in the beginning, when I first started podcasting, it was all audio. I didn't even too much have a name for what this is. I just knew I wanted to make some content similar to what I consume every day. Like I'm listening to The Breakfast Club every day, or I'm watching Drink Champs every day. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I'm like, you know what? I was like, I feel like I'm a pretty good conversationalist, but there's only really one thing that I would consider myself even close to an expert in, and that's hoop. So I'm like, all right, well, let me do something sports related. And people immediately start. Like people, when you talk to people older or more knowledgeable than you, they always want to know, okay, what's next? What you plan to do there? What you plan? I'm like, what? Whoa! I plan on doing just this for today, and then tomorrow, whatever I feel like doing. Boom, boom, boom. So, but after a while, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I am starting to like this more. And if people keep telling me the same stuff and they don't even travel in the same circles, there must be something to it. So let me get a name with some real thought into it. Let's try to put together a logo. So. You know, that's really what I meant when I said legitimize it and stop playing with it, so to speak.
So, yeah, I guess that time then is right. Because I figured out the logo thing, man. Had somebody make that for me. And, I mean, I guess once I started realizing, like, how influential it could be, like what I was doing and how it would help these kids, I was like, all right, let's really put some more thought into it. Like, let's really try and push it to another level where I'm really focusing on helping kids get more exposure to their game. You know, while at the same time, let's try and figure out how to make it somewhat profitable for me. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I swear to God, and listen, you pivoted on me because I was like, man, this dude about to say monetize, but you hit me with another little audible.
Yeah.
I like that. Make it more profitable.
Yeah, for sure, because it's a lot of time and work put into it. So, you know, you don't. I mean, as much as we love to help, you know, it's a lot of money put into it. So, you know, try and help me help you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so at that point, man, I just kind of really said, yo, especially when that job I came out here for, when that second contract ended, and there was no renewal, it's like, all right, well, I have to have a reason to kind of be out here. So I picked up a job at the casino, but as soon as I left there, I'm hitting gyms every day. I was still coaching, but also still doing video all the time, you know. So I guess at that point in my life, when that rent is barely getting made, when the meals ain't coming every day, like, that's when I was like, yo, I really gotta
figure this out.
I gotta do something, because I'm not trying to starve. You know what I mean? Like, It was a time, I went to school, got student loans. Worst thing in the
Man,
world, man. Look,
I still ain't all the way right side up, man.
look, probably ain't never gonna be.
Come on now.
Give it honest. But man, I remember they finally caught up to me because I moved, right? So they finally caught up to me. They was like, "Why you ain't making your payments?" I asked the lady on the phone. I said, "Ma'am, I just ain't had enough to do it." She's like, "That ain't how it worked though." I said, "Ma'am, if you had to choose between paying your student loans and making sure you got somewhere to stay for the next month, which one are you gonna put your money towards?"
It's a real life conversation you have.
I literally talking to the lady on the phone. I don't know where they, probably in North Carolina somewhere. And I'm just like,
And I'm not apologizing for it either.
what you want me to do? Pay the government who getting money from millions of other people? Y'all want me to pay my little couple hundred a month and not have nowhere to stay? What good is me paying y'all if I'm homeless?
Great point.
That's when it. Good question. That's when it happened. I'm glad you asked that because it made me like backtrack. Because at a point in time, I didn't know if I almost ain't had no other option but to go home. It's like I don't even know if I got enough money to get home.
Man,
like
that.
Yeah, man, I talk about Rod, and I told him this. I like, bro, Rod, you probably saved my life, man, because it got to a point where I was trying to figure out what I was doing. I think one thing we all searching for is our purpose in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or at least our purpose for the moment.
True that.
You know what I mean? What you're doing right now might not be your purpose 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're doing now will help you get to your purpose 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I think please keep that thought because that's probably the most interesting description I've ever heard of that word purpose because I think it's so broad and it's used in such a vague way. It's fleeting. You know what I mean? Because I think passion is more definitive. I think we can figure it out. You know what makes your bacon sizzle. You know what I mean? Get that fire burning in your gut. But the purpose, they keep telling me that those two things are different. So I'm like, well, I got an answer for one, but for the other, I don't know all the way.
You don't know. But, that's what we always searching for, though, as humans.
Mm-hmm.
I think our biggest question is why.
Yeah.
Right? That's a question we ask for everything. Like, why is the goal set at 10 feet high? Like, why did they make the ball the size that they make it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
What did they settle on? Or what did they almost come to?
Right. Like, why is red the color red? Or why is blue the color blue?
Yeah.
Why are we called humans?
True that.
Why did your parents name you Aaron?
Yep.
Why did my parents name me what they named me?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I come up with the name Johnny Dash? Like we can go on forever asking why.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But back to that, dude, it was some nights where I was not eating. Was not.
I went to sleep for dinner.
Bro, what you doing tonight? Sleep.
Damn. They said, take your ass to sleep. You won't be hungry.
Right. But dude, Rod, I remember, dude, he was just like, call me, what you doing? Man? Nothing. He was like, all right, come by the house. All right, cool. Come over, and they cooking. I'm thinking he gonna talk to me about something. Like, nah, we just chilling, watching the game.
Man, that's dope.
Got food for me. Then I'll never forget the first time it happened. I'm like, they're like, yeah, get you food. I'm like, all right, we'll put one little half scoop on the plate.
You know what I'm saying?
Modest,
you got some decency.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, trying to at least, but knowing good well, I'm like, damn, I want all of this food. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Something touching my back. I'm hungry.
But get that modesty up.
Man. And then I'm finna leave. They're like, we'll take you some food. We'll take you some leftovers. I'm like,
don't mind if I do.
Yeah, but that's what I want to say. But in all actuality, again, trying to be modest, like, oh no, I'm good. Man, get you some food, man.
Stop all that.
Look, hey, fed me for a week. You don't even know it.
Right.
What's crazy? Goldie didn't know it at the time either. I don't think he ended up telling her to maybe a year ago. That was
you didn't tell her that, or Rod didn't tell her that too?
I guess neither one of us told her.
Okay,
Rod knew my situation. I guess she didn't.
He did know?
Yeah.
How early in that process did he know that? Okay, but buddy going through some things
from the jump.
Really?
Because for some odd reason, man, from the beginning, from the day I met him, he was treating me like family, off rip.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird to me because,
You know you.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I don't like.
Should I trust this?
Yeah, like you be questioning people's motives sometimes. It's like,
You
is
have
there
to.
an ulterior motive? Like,
You have to.
and the more and more you get around, and you see him do that for other people,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't just me. There's, you know how many people that spent the night? You know what I'm saying? Like how many times somebody been hungry and he done gave him money and like looked out for him. Not even, and it's not always monetarily. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just passing your name along to try and help you in a situation. But I saw him do that for so many people. I'm like, man, this dude is just a genuinely good dude.
Yeah.
Like,
And there ain't no substitute for that.
yeah, when you genuine, bro, like that's the best thing you could be, is a genuine person.
Yeah, man.
For real.
And you know, the reason why I was asking those particular questions about how soon in the process did he and his wife really realize where you were in your life is because I think whether it's intentional or not, I can only speak on being a male because that's all I've ever been. But men specifically, you know how we can be, man. We can be very proud.
Yeah.
We can be private. I think that our first instinct is to try to figure out everything that we can on our own. And then once we run out of our own understanding, then maybe we'll reach out or we'll send some little smoke signals and hopefully somebody else could.
Smoke signals.
Yeah. We'll pick up on, hey,
We hint at it.
this my cry for help. This is the best I can do.
Yeah. We don't be direct. We trying to protect our feelings so much.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, at 27, I'm kind of just probably in the last year. Yeah, probably in like the last 18 months, I've kind of been phasing out of just like trying to hide. Like, nah, just be straight up and direct. Like, I've always been a very honest person. Well, since being like an adult, I've been more honest than like what's one line, like it's whack. But you know, I think randomly one day he just kind of asked me like how stuff was going.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, yeah, bro, it's kind of rough out here. Like, you know, my job is my job, but I really ain't making that.
True that.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I paid my rent this month, but I ain't eat. Like, or maybe I had some. Like, I remember telling my mom, I was like, yeah. She's like, what you eating today? Peanut butter and jelly. Next day, what you eat? Peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, what all you got in your fridge? Peanut butter and jelly. Call me when the peanut butter run out. Like,
Straight
like
up.
I had to survive, but he helped me. Like, I don't know why. I ain't never asked him why, but I just know that like what he did can't be matched or anything. Like, for where I was, like, dude, like, man, I don't know. Like, I was having that discussion with him last year. I'm like, bro, I just don't know. Like, you feel like a movie, like, when you need help, somebody just kind of walk into your life and help you. And you just like, bro, why are you helping?
Yeah,
like,
and you never know when it's coming or where it's coming from.
Out of nowhere. Would have never thought it. But I'm thankful for him, man. I tell him that all the time. I just be like, bro, I appreciate you. Like, you know, I don't know if he know how much, like, I don't know if he understands, like, how much I appreciate him, but I do. Like, you can, bro, can't nobody say nothing bad about Rob to me.
Yeah.
I had somebody try to one time. I shut that down quick. Like,
For sure.
nah. Like, it's like trying to call himself like selfish. Like, you know,
Wrong word, huh?
people like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
That's what's very interesting, though, about people in general, how we all have our own interpretations of people because we got our own experiences that we've had with a certain person. But I'm going to tell you, man, like some of the people that I'm closest to, they've heard what I'm about to say before, so they're going to have to bear with me. But, man, I can remember after I lost after I lost my first gigs, I lost 2 coaching jobs back to back in a year. You know, I was like, man, I was sort of down to nothing. And I had some other personal stuff brewing in my life at that time that I mismanaged. And I was having this conversation in my little side job I was working at the time with a young lady. At that time, she was your age right now. And I'm a few years older than her. She just said something real simple to me. She was like, well, we're all the bad guy in somebody's story. I said, damn. I perked up. Like, I mean, you know what, you're right, man. Let me stop.
Absolutely right.
And so, you know, that's where my mind goes whenever you were telling me, when you just speaking about Rod right then and how some people had some different type of feelings, but your feelings are what they are, no matter what. You know what I mean? I know, depending on who you talk to, I may not be so good of a guy.
Right.
But I think I got more more good than blemishes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. We all the bad guy in somebody's story. I mean, there's probably some people out there who hate me, but
For whatever reason.
Johnny Dash ain't come do the video for my son.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever,
yeah, yeah.
like, you didn't want to pay me, bro.
Yeah. Let's get to it.
Bad, yeah.
Speaking of, like when it comes to you, maybe clientele is not the word, but I'm gonna use that. How do you build your clientele? How does that work? Who reaches out to who?
Man, it's a mix of both.
Okay.
Like sometimes it's again like it started off with me just making myself available to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Explaining like, hey, like I do video, I know how to work the camera. Here's some edits I did on the computer. And then, you know what I mean? They being like, oh, okay, yeah, we can use that. Other times it's people seeking out, like, hey, I heard about you from, yeah, like I got a text from a coach maybe like a month ago. Like, man, Coach Phipps sent me your number. I got A, B, and C that I'm trying to do. Like, what's your numbers for this? You know what I'm saying? So it's a mix of both. But, either way it goes, we still got to kind of find exactly what they're looking for and make sure I can provide what they're looking for. And if I can't provide what they're looking for, then I try and send them in the direction of someone or something who can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, man, it's a mix of both.
I'm feeling.
It just depends.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, especially with like I think some of it is just building relationships with people.
Straight up.
Like sometimes
That's on my list too.
Yeah, and it just happens kind of naturally at times. Like maybe we all in the gym and just working out, and then we just start talking, and it's like, well, my son plays for them. Like, would you be free to come do some games? Like, you know what? Let me check my schedule. Yeah, I actually am free. Like, here's my number, whatever. Excuse me. And it just gonna happen naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly feel like that's the best way because it's not forced. It don't feel weird. It's just like, this is who they are. This is who I am, and we kind of mesh well. So it ends up being a good working relationship. Sometimes it ends up being like some actual personal, like like I said with Rod, like
something else came from it.
Yeah, something else came from it. So it just happens kind of natural, man.
When it comes to your numbers, when it comes to setting your prices, do you scale the market, so to speak, before you get to saying that I'm gonna charge this for that?
Man, the market.
Right.
So the market is a little. This is my personal opinion, man. I feel like, man, it's could be a little saturated, but like maybe under. I want to say undersaturated, but it's saturated with people who may not understand their full value. So I'm gonna just throw some numbers out there, right?
Right.
Let's say to be the coach here at Central, you would, let's say this. Let's say to build a house, you would charge somebody $50,000, right?
Okay.
For him to build a house, same structure, same all of that, he would be like, I'll do it for $20,000. Right?
Gotcha.
They're gonna go with the 20,000, but now I'm looking at them like, hey, bro, like you realize that
You ruining it, though.
well, not only you ruin it, but you robbing yourself.
Yeah.
You got to pay for the wood, you got to pay for the nails, you got to pay for the cement, you got to pay for the shingles that you put on the roof, you got to pay for the insulation, you got to pay for all of that. And so, after you get done, say all of this costs $18,000, you only made a $2,000 profit.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze, brother.
Great analogy. I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah. Feel free, man. I definitely stole that.
but yeah, so it kind of feel like that sometimes, and I think it's more with the younger guys that's starting to do it, like the ones that's like just still in high school or just getting out of high school, like they might not understand their value, and I know because again I was a high school kid, I know what $100 will do for me as a high schooler.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm in the game.
Yeah, I know if I go do 2 or 3 videos, and I only come away with $150 as a high school kid, you probably like, man, that's a great weekend. As an adult, nah. Nah,
I spend too much
too
time,
much
dog.
time. Look, we done spent 30 minutes getting here, 30 minutes leaving, 2 hours at the game, and then I'm gonna spend anywhere from an hour to 2 hours doing the edit. It's a whole bunch of hours. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when you look at it like that, it's like, yo, the money you make gotta match the time you put into it. Now sometimes you really not gonna do exactly what you worth to try and make it affordable for the people. Because
Right.
if you set it way, way up here, then they
You gonna
might
get no
not.
business.
Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna get no business because you got to make it affordable. But at the same time, don't undersell yourself.
Facts.
Like that's the worst thing you could do. Because I always feel like this, like, and I went through this because I at one point in time I didn't have money. That when somebody threw a little bit in my face, I was like, yeah, I'll take that. That's good money right there. Until you see the other side and be like, dang, that actually wasn't good money.
You might have played yourself a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, without really recognizing it.
True.
You know what I mean? And that's what I really hope they avoid. Like, I hope they understand the value in what they do now. So when they get my age, they're not struggling to try and raise their prices and then deal with that next group of kids coming in and being like, hey, we'll do it for $25.
On the same stuff they was on.
Yeah, yeah.
So it sounds like you had to figure that out straight through trial and error. Like, you didn't have anybody guiding you through that process?
Nah, man.
That's beautiful. In my opinion, that's a beautiful thing in hindsight.
Oh yeah, definitely in hindsight. In hindsight, everything is great.
Yeah, like, man, I figured it out, and now you got like advanced game, and you 27 years old. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, that's scary. All I can think is a young, pure, genuine, innocent kid, basically, and people out here, shaving them, so to speak.
Well, yeah.
At least that's a fear.
Yeah. When I think about it, because I was about to say they do it to themselves, but not really. Like if they just kind of get thrown a number,
Yeah.
and like I said, somebody threw me a number it was a job that threw me a number, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna make this much in a year. I ain't never made this much money before. Now realizing that you actually need a lot more of that to make it, to survive actually. So that's the whole thing. Like just and I'll pass that knowledge on to any of them. Anybody who want to hit me up and talk, I ain't hard to find. You just DM me. I am hard to find. You can
Hard,
DM me and talk.
hard to find, but not hard to reach.
Right, exactly.
I feel it. But check this out. When it comes to scheduling, how do you determine where you gonna be, who you going to watch throughout the basketball season? That is.
So that gets determined at times like right now, like
Okay.
the preseason. I try to work with schools and work with different programs. They'll figure me out. They'll reach out to me. We'll figure out a number, settle on that, and contract for the year. You know what I mean? So do X amount of games for X amount of dollars, and that's that. That's really how it goes. So I mean, I know I caught flack a couple years ago. I think it was somebody from Dale City when they beat Booker T in the Tournament of Champions final. It was like, man, it should be a Dale City video. They won. I said, bro, okay, like I'm there to do a job.
That's right.
Like I don't care who won, win, lose. And I told somebody this year, I said, win, lose, or draw. This video gonna get made about whoever is sending that check.
Yep. That they're gonna be the feature. To me, that's not a hard thing to understand.
Yeah, but people don't want to hear that. I said, if you want that, bro, we can easily work that out. I'm gonna tax you because you came at me crazy.
Yeah.
And I really hate arguing with people on social media too, which I don't do that. But it was that one time they came at me so crazy that I was just like, we finna entertain this. But
Yeah.
I said, bro, you can take my number and we can chop it up. I don't care. But
let's take the personal approach.
yeah, man. And this done had to. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's been times where it's really not had to like go there, but because I'm not finna like indulge in that. Like I don't believe in like just doing the back and forth. Like I don't think since being Johnny Dash Media that I've like had a legit argument with somebody on a social media platform. Like, if we have to discuss something, if there is a disagreement, I'd much rather we just pick up the phone and talk about it.
Yeah,
Because
it ain't gonna be.
yeah, because a lot of stuff can get misconstrued with, just texting. I really don't like texting. FaceTime call. That's how I tend to like to operate.
We can feel each other's energy that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Text has no tone.
No tone, so something can get taken the complete, total wrong way. But I just know the one instance where somebody just said something so crazy and big time platform and all that, and the guy wearing the shirt, when he saw me the next day, he was like, "Hey, bro, that wasn't me." So I threw a name out there. I said, "Yo, was it this person?" Yeah. I said, "All right, here's my number. Send it to him. Tell him to call me. We can chop it up."
Yeah.
Said if he don't call me when I see him, we can chop it up.
Yeah.
Man, I waited about 5 weeks. When I ran into Buddy, we had a nice, colorful conversation on the baseline.
Yeah. Sometimes it's necessary, man.
That was very necessary. I was moving weird.
Yeah.
Ended up getting exposed as a weirdo too.
Hey.
I don't feel no sympathy for him.
That's how it
Can't
is.
take it. Work for the kids. Don't take advantage of the kids.
That's fact.
Buddy was a weirdo.
Man.
Certified weirdo.
Certified. All right, well, 2 more questions and I'll let you up out of here. How did you come up with the name Johnny Dash Media? Because it's cool as hell, you know what I'm saying?
That's my name.
Your first name is Johnny, your last name is Dash for real?
Nah,
you ain't say, boy, you got the coolest name ever.
I'm playing. Hold on.
Yeah, Johnny Cash and Johnny Dash, they the coolest.
Nah, so my actual government name is John Michael Thompson.
Right.
John Michael is my first name, named after my grandfather and my dad. It's hyphenated. John Dash Michael.
Got it.
Dash. But then you flip it to Winston-Salem. It's Winston Dash Salem. Name of our baseball team is the Winston-Salem Dash.
I get it now. Yeah. Perfect.
Even my sister, like, and she was just telling me, like, that she just told, like, her friends and all that in school, like, what my name was, and everybody was just kind of like, dang, that's crazy. Like, her name is Kimberly Michael. Kimberly Dash Michael. So her name on my phone is K Dash. Like,
that's dope, man.
Yeah. Hers is spelled like way different, but it's the same concept.
Okay. I just sound like you stumbled on that one pretty quick. Like, bingo, this is what it is.
Yeah. That, like, you go all the way back to that first video I did, like, at the very end, I had terrible Windows Media Maker graphics. It said a Johnny Dash production. Like,
Humble beginnings.
That's what it was, man. It's been there from the jump, and I just kind of went with it and stuck with it. I actually went through a couple like variations of names, like doing the music thing or whatever. But once I hit that, I said, yeah, that's it.
That's the one.
Because it celebrates my given name. You know what I mean? So shout out to my mom and dad.
Getting it done.
Being creative, I guess.
Yeah.